the saxophone comes, though it's made out of brass, it's not really a brass instrument. It's considered to be under woodwinds. Since it's not a brass instrument, I've seen people wash brass instruments. Well, you cannot do that for the saxophone, either of the saxophones. And the reason is simple, is because the saxophone has pads. Like you can see, this is made out of leather pads, so we can't wash the saxophone. Brass guys, we would refer you to a brass teacher, so we can't wash the saxophone. We have other, question is, what do we do? We have other cleaning methods. We have, how do we clean the pads then? When you're playing, the saxophone gets moisturized, and when the moisture cools, then it has wet pads all over, and the entire instrument could get wet. So how do we dry them? And sometimes there are problems that pads will begin to stick if they are not cleaned, well cleaned. So make sure that every time you play saxophone, you're done with the saxophone, you go ahead and really clean it properly. We have, you can get different rags that you can use. I have this particular one, but as you can see, it's made out of a material that doesn't lint, because cotton really does lint, and some of those particles can get in between the keys and still make the instrument really hard to play. But a cloth like this is good. It's cotton free, then it's what we use to clean. If you have access to cigarette paper, it's also good. It's what you use to clean underneath these pads, just like that. Like this, get it underneath. You can see, and then that's how we do it, and then dry all the other joints, all these other parts. Same thing for all these other parts. I'll do like that and wipe them. Be careful so that you don't hurt any of your fingers at some sharp corners, some sharp parts on the horn. Same thing for these other parts. I can go in like that, as you can see. Same thing for this other part. Like that, so on and so forth. Even this other part. You can see right there. Okay. If you have some of these gadgets, for example, I have this, which I use to clean the neck, and I can use this, just swab it through. Just keep pushing until it comes out and pull it up like that. If you don't have this, please do not be worried. You can use the same rag like I used. You could simply coil it, then run it through like that. It will only clean probably by now. I think I've pushed it all the way up to this joint here, and that's all I can do with it. Then I would have to turn it the other way and clean this other side too. Just make a smaller roll and run it in like that. By now I think I've run it all the way up to here, and then I've cleaned the entire neck. Someone might want to swab this all the way through. Sometimes that is really risky. There are those that are designed to do that. They usually have some heavier metal kind of like ending that permits the entire rag to run through all the way down. They're kind of like small swabs. But if you don't please don't risk doing that if it's not designed to do that, because in between there, this is the octave key. This joint here has something. If you look through your, just peep through the hole of the neck, you will see a little bump. And if you run it in something like this, it might get stuck in between there. And sometimes that can be annoying. Okay, that's how you clean the neck.